shifters, entrepreneurs on the move, with your host, Amanda Barr, bringing you power-packed 15-minute conversations with entrepreneurs who share their stories of shifting in life and business to keep on the move.
Welcome to the show. This is your host, Amanda Barr, and boy, do we have an incredible show for you today. Today's our live session, meaning anyone joining on our live show today, they can listen in, you can come up to the stage, you can talk, it's all recorded, and you can even message me questions if you don't want to come up and share your shifts, share your insights, share whatever you'd like about the topic at hand. So for those that are looking to join us, it is Friday live, every Friday, 10 a.m. Central Time. Join us. All right, let's dive in. This is all about flow, integrating flow, the definition of flow. When I looked up conscious flow definition, does anybody know how many search results came up? You're probably going to go check it yourself because it's almost unbelievable. 46 million people are searching the definition of conscious flow. Do you think people want more productivity and want to learn how to make some great things happen? Well, it seems like there's a lot of people writing about it and a lot of people wanting to know more about it as well. And when you look up the definition, the first one that comes up is the HuffPost, and it says the mental state of being completely present and fully immersed in a task. It is a strong contributor to creativity. And it actually goes one level further and says, when in flow, the creator and the universe become one. Outside distractions recede from consciousness, and one's mind is fully open and attuned to the act of creating. Now, when you keep going deeper into some of these definitions, of course, there's many out here, and a lot of them are very similar, if not the same. But one also says flow increases enjoyment and creativity. That creativity comes up a lot in this, and that excites me because I love innovation. I love creativity, being the creatress coach, helping people create things. Whew, we got to get into the zone more. So it actually says you can actually train to be more open to discovery and innovation, and that going into flow actually trains this. And during flow, concentration is so intense, it can change our brains because it's actually using brainwaves. And when we're in flow, we get the benefit from natural pleasure-inducing and performance-enhancing chemicals. Awesome. So there's a lot of things that are happening inside this flow state. Sometimes we just think, oh, that was so awesome. I was like totally in the zone, and it felt like you were in another world, and you came back and it was not as exciting. It was still exciting, but just not as exciting. And there are 4 stages. If you look at this, you can definitely look this up, but there's 4 stages. The first one is struggle. The second one is release. The third one is actually being in flow. And the fourth one is recovery. And I wanted to look up, like, how long does it take to get into flow? Because we're all working throughout the day. How long does it take to get into it, and when do we peak? So therefore, how many times could I potentially get into flow for my business? How many times could the clients that I work with get into flow for their business to be more productive and stay more focused? So the first stage, struggle, is the beta brainwave, and it releases cortisol and adrenaline in that first one. Just think of like starting the car. And they say that this first two levels, struggle and release, take about 15 minutes. So you've got to get through this, and then you will hit your peak at about 45 minutes. So struggle, look at that as one of that first stage. You're just starting to get into this, but when you hit that third stage flow, you're going to be in it for about 30 minutes. So warm up is 15. You're going to be in it for hit your peak of 45. So my assumption, which I'm not a flow expert, but I sure do enjoy this stuff, I would assume that about an hour. And I've heard Brendan Bouchard and others that say 50 minutes. Work really hard for 50 minutes. Get into that zone, get that done, make sure you're productive, set your goals, and then take a break and do something that's completely separate, something that lets your brain kind of relax, and then you're able to go back and do it again. But to not try to work 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 hours almost straight, because we can lead to burnout. And you hear burnout is used a lot in the business world. Well, we could be burning ourselves out every day, especially if we're intensely in the zone and in flow. So stage 1, struggle. Stage 2 is the release. That's alpha brain waves. That's nitric oxide being released from the body. When you hit the flow stage, you're at the alpha, theta, gamma brain wave. And this is where you have the endorphins and serotonins and dopamine happening. And then the fourth stage is at recovery, delta brain wave. And that's where the serotonin and the oxytocin is getting released. And it's so fascinating because our bodies, if you're into fitness, if you're into wellness, if you're into obviously now focus and productivity, all these different things are so powerful. There's so many things our body is doing. We unconsciously are doing things and we don't even know really what good things we're doing, what could be potentially wearing us out, stressing us out. And it's just exciting to kind of dive into this and look into it. I would suggest anybody that is listening here today, do your own research. Kind of dive into it more. If you're looking for more focus, for more productivity, Clay, our guest on Tuesday, actually wrote a book, and his book shares about this. What are the 3 habits you should have when getting into the zone? And it's so close to our 3 with Raise the Bar, which is belief, action, results. So belief, action, and attitude are the 3 that he uses, and belief, action, results is what we use. And I just find that fascinating because we're all about getting people into that place where they are producing and accomplishing the things they want to in their business and in their life. And same thing with this flow, getting into flow, getting into the zone, getting into your optimal level of productivity. It's possible. And one thing that comes up, because we work with a lot of business owners and they're looking for ways to manage time. It's happened in my own business where time just seems to go by. And what got done? When you have 40 tabs open on your computer, how can you not get a little bit distracted? When things pop up and you're like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh my God, I got to do this. And you're just pulled in about 20 different directions. And one thing that I've learned through this whole week and from working in the past is when you really sit down and say 30 minutes, go. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. Put out the time and work. This is an hour I'm going to devote to it. We call it time blocking, and that's how we've structured our calendars. Just didn't at that point associate conscious flow into time blocking, but we're sure going to do it now, consciously choosing. And I do suggest to time block your calendar, meaning you're going to set time for prospecting, you're going to set time for email, admin, especially if you're a solopreneur or you have a small team and you're wearing different hats. You need to time block those different hat activities. And I would suggest even putting those earlier in the day because 1, you know you need to do them, and 2, you usually don't want to do them, so they come later, and then you're usually scrambling at the end of the day to try to catch up with everything that you knew you were supposed to do that you could have done earlier and just block the time. That even means blocking time for meetings with prospects, with clients, with all those things. If you can structure your calendar powerfully, think about what is possible. Think about what's possible for your productivity. Think about what's possible, your focus. I just redid my calendar blocking and it has helped out so much because when I had meetings that had gaps between the meeting and between my work, I was having a slowdown because I couldn't get into the zone. I couldn't get into flow because it was a 30-minute little chunk and I had about 1,000 things to do. And so I know the way I work best is having about a 3 to 4 hour block that I can have different activities that I need to get accomplished in that time. Put in that flow time, put in some break times, and then be able to work powerfully through to do that. Now, am I doing this at the optimal level and I'm a genius and this is just awesome? Absolutely not. I'm still working on it, putting in the effort to make it better, and just keep consistent with any of these things. And with any of these things, I will say that again, consistency is key. Yes, that's it. Consistency is key. Most of the time, people give up when it gets a little bit tough, or when they fail to do it, and you gave your word, okay, I'm going to do it this time, and then you don't do it. It goes 3 days. Just think about diets and fitness workouts, and it's always, I saw that a cartoon that said, I'll start my diet tomorrow after I eat this box of cookies. Well, that could be tomorrow for many, many days and many, many months and many, many years. That's in our business. That's in our fitness. That's in our health. And it's when we choose in that moment to draw the line and say, enough is enough. This has got to stop. I choose this. And I will consciously, and I think this is what changes it for me, and maybe this is what can change it for you. If you can consciously choose what you're doing, it's no longer just, it's going to happen, maybe kind of, sort of, if it could. It is no, in this moment, I get the choice and I get to choose what I want for myself and for my business, for my family, for my friends, for everything. I get to choose, and that's taking responsibility when we don't. And the next step is restoring integrity when we don't fulfill the promise we made to ourselves, or the promise we made to, let's say it's your business partner. And it's not living in like a guilt. It's being able to powerfully say, yeah, I didn't do it, and no excuses, no reasons. Think about what you're leading with. This is want to do a whole topic on this because it's so powerful, and I've been working on this one too. What am I leading with? Am I leading with an excuse, or am I leading with something else, something that's more powerful? Am I leading with consciousness? Am I leading with purpose? Am I leading with impact? Am I leading with these things? Or am I leading with fear and doubt and excuse and my reasons? And, I could do a whole show on all the excuses and reasons I could have for not getting things done, because that is just a natural thing that I had lived in. And it's consciously choosing that I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't want to be that anymore. And I get the choice. And every time I choose not to, I just need to take responsibility, because it's still a muscle being built. Sometimes we think of business as not being associated to other things, but it's so much connected to our world. Think about like going to the gym and working out. If you don't go to the gym and work your muscles are going to either atrophy some, or they just won't be as strong, or the skin won't be as tight. There's so many different things. But if I'm going in there and I'm doing the motion and I'm practicing, I'm building that muscle. You may not see huge muscles right away, just like in your business, you're building the muscles. You may not see just tons of people flowing in because you made a choice to time block your calendar. Other things have to go in, just like other things have to go in than just doing bicep curls. You need to potentially do cardio. You need to do abs. You need to do the back exercises, and it goes on and on and on. If we think that just one thing is going to be the sole winner for our business and that's all I've got to do, well then come tell me what you're doing so I can do it. Because this is a multi-level deal with your business. And think about your body, and even with the flow. It's not just getting in the flow. It's got a process. It's got something you're going into. So 4 stages: the struggle, the release, the flow, and the recovery. And I think recovery is where I can grow more myself. Maybe that's for you. I don't know which one of those 4 is like the one that you would love. Obviously, everybody wants to be in flow and be in the zone. That feels awesome. And yet, we have to remember that there is a process and to recover and to slow down after that high flow state to let our body come back to why, so we can go back into it again. And most of the time when I see myself in flow, when I really, really 100% know that I'm in flow, and I'd love if those that are listening in, like, put into the comments, share when you know, like, you were in the zone. That could be from a sport. One that comes to mind for me is snowboarding. For sure, 100%. When you start down that mountain, all things kind of drift away and you're just hearing the board glide across that snow and you're looking at the view, you're watching the turns, you're watching everybody. Time doesn't matter. And you get to the bottom and it really still doesn't matter, but you kind of come back at that point when you get to the bottom of the hill. And it's just a thrilling experience. And if you haven't done that, maybe it's speaking for yourself. Maybe it's getting on that stage, or maybe it's being on a show, or maybe it's being on a podcast and diving into that world and just being so just like, I love to close my eyes. This is when I know I'm truly in flow. It doesn't work so well for video or any type of public speaking, but when I can close my eyes, that is like the ultimate, because I can really just kind of come from a like deep place. For me, I'm learning to keep my eyes open, obviously, if I'm doing videos, but when it comes to talking to people, and if I'm one-on-one with somebody and I'm talking with them and really connecting with them on a deep level, it's just super exciting. And I know that some that have worked with me, especially if we're talking about ideas or things, it feels like we've gone and went to the gym for about an hour and you're like, whoa, that was like a mental workout. There were so many different things that were happening, so many different conversations, and 1 hour sometimes feels a lot longer than when it flies by. And when you're in the zone, for some reason, that hour does seem to be a little bit more extended. It's almost like a really cool experience. It's like time kind of slows down and you can get so much more done, and it doesn't feel like it's like just zooming by. So consciously choosing every day. One of our guests that was just on the show a couple of shows ago, her name is Carrie Conley, and she's talks all about vision and purpose. And she shares that she consciously chooses her hours every day. If you think about how powerful that could be, to consciously choose every hour of your day, wow. Then you can go at the end of the day and say, yeah, I took ownership in every single one of those hours. And I took responsibility. And I created what I wanted to, or I didn't create what I wanted to, and I'm able to powerfully move forward. That was such an inspirational statement, and I just hope that touches your heart if you're listening to this today. So for those of you that are listening, that are looking for more productivity, that are looking for more focus, that might be just looking for more assistance in your business and getting to that point where you're just so in tune and you love what you do so much that you're in the zone every day at some point in what you do. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be exciting? Especially if you're a business owner or a business professional and you really do love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, find something in what you do to love. If you don't love what you do, find something in what you do to love. Because when you do love that, even if it's something that you're just in between or you're just trying it out, when you find that love of it, it changes that business for you. It changes that time for you. And instead of going, this is such a waste of my time, I'm wasting my life away, when you could be taking that same time doing whatever you're doing and going, what can I do now? Who can I touch now? How can I help others grow? What is it going to take? When I launched Shifters Podcast, there was two intentions. One, I wanted to meet really incredible people, and I love hearing stories, and I love being able to share their stories, and I love growing. And the second thing was to help their business grow, because if I could help share their story and they could help their business grow, then that would touch my heart and I did something good in this world. And from that, of course, other great things have happened. I've met incredible people. I've been able to have people on the show I didn't think I would ever even talk to. And I've been able to grow my network, and that all comes full circle. And being on that podcast and in this podcast, literally, there are times when I'm talking to those that I'm with that it's just so exhilarating that I am in the zone. And I sure hope that those that are on the show are in the zone too, because it's really fun. So find your flow. Find those things in the day. Find a couple hours out of the day where you can consciously choose to really dive in, to get into the zone. And the way you do that is you just write down before you get into the zone, and before you block that hour, block an hour. Just try it out. What is it going to hurt to try it out? Block an hour, set the timer, write down what you want to complete, and then start. See what happens. Work on whatever you're doing. And the only time people doubt, and the hardest part about people getting into flow for their business, they might be able to do it for their side hobby or for their sports or something that they feel comfortable with, and that's because it's comfortable. But when you're in business, it might be tasks or skills or things you don't maybe have, or you don't feel confident in, or you don't feel like that your ability matches to the goal or the skill or what you need to accomplish. And I just say, blow all that out of the water. It doesn't matter. That time is blocked for you to get things done for that purpose. So it doesn't matter if you know how to do it, don't know how to do it, need to learn how to do it. Just go for it. And the more you do this, remember, consistency is key. If you break that consistency, you will never get to see if this really works for you. Just like time blocking your calendar, just like getting on a diet, just like getting fit and going to the gym. You will never know what is possible for you unless you stay consistent. And the way to build those habits is you need to plan to do this at least once a day for over 21 days. Remember, those of you that are either coaches or entrepreneurs, I think we all have been taught that it takes 21 days to break a habit. That's 3 weeks. So if you're trying this 3 weeks, and if you quit before 3 weeks, you didn't even let yourself really get a chance to see what transformation could do. And most of the time we quit because we aren't writing down the results. So when you get done with that hour, write down the results and see what you have done. Anytime those that have joined my 100-day programs, when we write out the goals at the beginning and we say all these things are going to be able to be finished in 100 days, it's almost like, oh my God, there's no way this is possible. And yet those are accomplished, and even more, and productivity goes through the roof, and you go, wow. Now, you might say, well, that's just because they worked with you. Well, maybe because I brought some different stuff, or maybe there was accountability, and there was focus, and there was productivity, and they found their zones inside of that time frame because they were doing it for themselves, they were doing it for others, they were doing it to keep accountable. It kept them in flow. So I just hope this inspires you today. It doesn't look like we had anybody that wanted to come up today or share, but that's okay. We're going to be here every Friday for you guys to share your insights, share what you want to share, and share those shifts. Today's all about conscious flow. I hope this touches your life, your business. I hope you find yourself in the zone every day and finding the joy in what you do, and let it transform your business from the inside out. And that's the actions we get to take every single day. So for all those listening today, keep on the move.
We hope you enjoyed the episode today. We appreciate each one of you for listening and hope you left inspired and motivated to keep on the move. If you think this episode might help or inspire someone else, please share. Don't forget to subscribe and keep in the loop to hear more incredible stories of entrepreneurs like yourself on the move. Thank you for our supporters, RTB Capital Group, Financial Powerhouse, Callcast, and Power Podcasting. Now, get out there and keep on the move.